Okay, next concept of the object oriented programming is the polymorphism. Okay, in that subtopics are there: function overloading and operator overloading. Now what is polymorphism? Polymorphism means what? In the features also, in the concepts also, we have discussed that polymorphism means one name and multiple forms, right? So if you are mentioned, if you are written so many functions, okay, and if you keep the name same for all functions, then this is the concept of polymorphism. Now in polymorphism, there are two types of polymorphism. First is a compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. Compile time polymorphism means what? If you are going to apply polymorphism at the compile time, so then it becomes your compile time polymorphism. And if you apply the polymorphism at runtime, then it is called as a runtime polymorphism. Now in compile time polymorphism, operator overloading is there and function overloading is there, that we are going to learn today. And in runtime polymorphism, virtual function concept. Now function overloading means what? Okay, we create a many function, different function with the same name, that is called as a function overloading. Okay, but that function may be differ in some ways. Okay, maybe depend on the number of argument, maybe depend on the type of argument, or maybe depend on the return type. Okay, so basis on this, we are going to differentiate this function. Since the function name is the same, okay, there is some difference depend on the number of arguments, or the data type of the arguments, or return data type. Okay. See, here I have given one example of the function overloading. See, class A is there. Inside class A, two functions are there, or two member functions are there. Okay, the name of these two member function is same. First is a area and another is also area. Okay, function name is same, but if you see, if you see here, the number of argument is different. The first area is having one argument and another area is having two arguments. So since the function name is same, but still there is a difference, that is depend on the number of arguments. In case suppose number of arguments are same, then you have to keep their data type different. If number of argument is same, their data type is also same, then we have to keep this return type different. Okay, so these three things we have to follow when you are going to use the function overload. Now here class A is there. In the class A, two member functions are there having the same name, area and area. After that, in void main, I have created one object A1. Okay, and using this A1, I am calling the function area. Now here I have passed only one value, right? I have passed only one value, so it is going to call the area with a single argument. Okay, so it is going to execute this cout s into s, so it is going to display here 25. Here it will be displaying 25. After that, I have called area function again, but in at this time I am passing two arguments, that is 5 and 10. So it is going to call the area function having two arguments, that is int void area int l and b. So 5 will be in a L, 10 will be in a B. It is going to perform the multiplication of the both, and then answer will be 50. Understood? This is the simple concept of function overloading. Next is operator overloading. In operator overloading, we are going to mention some meaning to the operator which are already present in the C++. Okay, so using that operator, we are going to write some code. Okay, we are going to define some meaning. We are going to define some additional task for that operator. Okay, Now, how to use that operator or how we are going to assign that task? Okay, the some steps we need to follow. First is create a class that defines the data type that is to be used in a overloading operation. Then declare the operator function, that is the operator overloading operation with this OOP. This is the keyword we are going to use in a public part. It may be either a member function or friend function, and define the operator function to implement the required operation. Okay, first I'll give you the syntax and then we'll write an example. Okay, so the idea will get clear to you. First, the syntax. If you are going to use the operator overloading in your program, you need to follow this syntax. Syntax is a return type, then class name, then scope resolution operator. After that, operator keyword is there. Okay, here the operator keyword, this operator, it is a operator keyword, and this OP means your actual operator. It can be plus, it can be minus, it can be increment operator, it can be decrement operator. Okay, so actual operator we are going to mention here, and then the list of argument means we are going to pass some values on which this operator is going to perform some task. Okay, after that open curly bracket, and then inside that curly bracket mention the task or mention the code which is to be executed. Now here I have given one example. See, here class space is there, class space. Inside the space, one data member is there, that is X. Okay, then I have created one constructor, that is to initialize X is equal to 10. Okay, no need to use constructor, you can use normal member function also that we generally use, get data to accept the data. Okay, and you accept the value from the user, that is also okay. There is no relation between the constructor and operator overload. Okay, so here space class is there, inside the space class X data member is there, then I have initialized 10 to that data member. Then one more function I have declared, that is display, to display the value of X. Now here I have declared, I have taken minus sign, minus operator, which I am going to overload. Okay, now here I have mentioned void, operator keyword is there. After operator keyword, mention the actual operator and then bracket open and close. Here I am not passing any arguments. Okay, then semicolon and just close this. After that, here I have declared that I am going to overload this minus operator. But what the task or which task that operator is going to perform, that I am going to declare here. How to declare it? For that, use this syntax, that is return type class name. So here return type is void, it is not going to return anything. Class name is space, then scope resolution operator, then operator keyword is there. After operator keyword, and your actual operator, that is minus, and then in bracket void is there because we are not passing any argument. Now what task we are going to perform? X is equal to minus X, means whatever value of X, just convert it into the negative value. Okay, now here we have initialized X to 10. So after executing this line, okay, so using this function, you are making X as a minus 10. Okay, so it will convert your X into the minus X, and that value will be put into this X. Okay, now we have created a operator plus, operator minus. Okay, now we are going to create an object for this class space. In main function, I have created one object S for the space class. After that, S dot display is there. So it is going to display 10 here. Okay, because right now the value of X is 10. After that, I'm going to call this operator overloaded function. Okay, how to call that operator overloaded function? Just use the operator, and after that operator mention the object. So here I have written minus S. Minus S means what? Just call this operator overloaded function for the object S. So inside the S, X value is there and the value of X is 10. So when you call this operator overloaded function for the S object, it is going to convert this X into the minus X. Okay. After that, I have called this display function, that is s dot display. That time, this time, okay, it is going to display the value of updated value of x, that is a -10.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Bye.